record to the cloud. Fantastic. All right, looks like we are recording. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on in. Don't want to keep you guys too long because I know your Friday nights are super valuable, especially this time of year. It is an absolute honor and a joy, a huge pleasure to be able to be a part of this week's series of Zoom webinar opportunity meetings. And so I'm going to go ahead and dive in. If you're not familiar, if this is your first time seeing a Lifevantage opportunity presentation, there's kind of two pieces to it, and I'll be sharing a little bit about my story, but I'd love to talk to you about the company and what the company has developed from a biohacking and nutrigenomics perspective. And I'd also love to share a business opportunity with you that goes hand in hand with those two things I just mentioned. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to share my screen here. Fantastic. And let's dive on in. So if you haven't heard yet, Lifevantage is the company that I'm going to be presenting on today. This company is absolutely phenomenal. I heard about this company about 18 months ago. The guy who introduced it to me has an absolutely phenomenal story in regards to how the products that Lifevantage has produced and developed had a major impact on his son, CJ. I'd known CJ for a very long time. CJ was diagnosed with autism at 4. And pretty quickly after using our flagship product, Protandim, and another one that I'm drinking now, essentially liquid brain food called Axio, CJ saw, just night and day kind of results. His speech improved like 50%. It was pretty phenomenal to be able to see that with my own eyes. I had worked at a school before for kids who had autism, so I was very familiar with it. I was one of 2 people to reach out to Josh and tell him, hey, I think that CJ may have autism. And so to see how CJ's life has been changed has been really phenomenal. And that was kind of the thing that got me willing to take a look at this opportunity. I'll talk some more about what my response was the first time I saw this information. I was pretty skeptical and aggressive about my skepticism. So I'll share some more about that. But so Lifevantage here is the company. One of the really important things that I just want to make sure that we define and that I'm very, very clear on here is this whole philosophy of biohacking. And so this is really at the core, at the heart and soul of who Lifevantage is as a company. And so essentially biohacking is just that art or science of optimizing your performance, right? So how do we get the body working at peak performance? And I also like to say it like this. So this definition is very helpful here, but really what biohacking comes down to is giving people the ability to take control of a complex system, namely their own biology, and be able to take control of that so that they can get the kind of desired health results that they're looking for. So rather than just accepting whatever comes our way from a health perspective, what if we could be in the driver's seat of our biology? What if we could be in the driver's seat and be able to help influence and even determine some of the outcomes that happen to us from a health perspective, right? And so it'd be pretty phenomenal. The other thing I want to make sure that we get clear on is this whole idea of nutrigenomics. So nutrigenomics is a new science, and simply what nutrigenomics comes down to is it's how do we take plants and other nutrients or other natural compounds and use them to positively affect how our genes express. And so again, biohacking and nutrigenomics are the two things that are really at the core of who we are as a company when it comes to Lifevantage. And so we want people to take control of their biology, get the desired outcomes, but do that with tools that are all natural and that are made of natural compounds and nutrients that allow them to positively affect the way that their bodies are working. We're trying to really biohack and unlock the body's potential. So rather than a sole focus on, say, supplementation, what if we could activate our bodies and get our bodies working for themselves the way that they were intended to? And so that is really the phenomenal breakthrough that Lifevantage is at the forefront of. And so something here to note. So a couple months back, and maybe even 2-3 months back, the Today Show highlighted this whole idea of personalized healthcare, right? A personalized health market or nutrigenomics. And so they said that by 2020, so in the next couple years, this is going to be a over $600 billion industry. And thankfully, Lifevantage is actually at the forefront of this new science called nutrigenomics. And so the products are absolutely phenomenal. The business opportunity is amazing. And so I hope that by the end of this presentation, you walk away saying that they're both really a no-brainer at this point. And so one of the things that I want to just kind of backtrack, and so that it kind of makes sense, how did we get to where we are today? Back in 2005, Lifevantage got approached by ABC. And if you're familiar with John Quinones or the old ABC primetime investigative reports, I think they do still do a different version of them now. But they came and said, hey, we heard that you have a flagship product called Protandim that is doing some amazing things. We'd like to do an ABC primetime investigative report and really look into this and see, is this really the medical breakthrough that you say it is? And so just to kind of, for you to see where our roots are, I'm going to go ahead and just show a clip here of that ABC Primetime Investigative Report. It features Dr. Joe McCord. They do a live blood test on national television. And as you'll see, it was a pretty amazing thing. And I'll talk about how that influenced where we are today. So. Ooh, let me go back here real quick. Let's see. Let's try that again. All right, all right. I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty. Let's try this out again here and get back to this. All right. I'm going to share my screen again so that you guys can all see and hear this, and hopefully be blown away like I was. Share screen. Let's go ahead and play this. Awesome.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig. Dr. McCord, okay. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist. This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company. They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body.
Leading to disease.
Leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
As it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us.
Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes. And so you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
Dr. James Crapo with the National Jewish Medical Center in Denver is also researching Protandim for the company. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Would you suggest I keep taking this supplement?
I would. I can't guarantee it's going to extend your life. I can't guarantee it's going to eliminate any diseases or cure any diseases.
But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. And I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. But because it's being sold as a nutritional supplement and not a drug, Protandim does not need FDA approval for safety.
Awesome. Fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and move us on here. So that aired back in 2005. This is a small little, biotech company. Got $5 million of orders the month that that video aired on national television. And so what it showed is that there are a lot of people out there looking for a way to take control of their health, right? To be able to unlock their body's potential and be able to help to be a part of determining some of the health outcomes that they experience in this life. And so what you saw there was the effectiveness of Lifevantage's flagship product called Protandim. And so the question ultimately is, what exactly is Protandim? And so Protandim is a scientific breakthrough in that field, the new field of science called nutrigenomics, as we talked about earlier. And so what exactly Protandim does is, just to get a little sciencey for a quick second here. So all of our bodies, I know a lot of you that are on the call here or on the webinar have probably heard that you need to eat foods that are high in antioxidants. You need to eat your blueberries, your red wine, your dark chocolates, things like that. And doctors have been recommending foods, superfoods even, that are high in antioxidants for a long time, because we know that oxidative stress or free radical damage is a kind of core contributor to hundreds of diseases that we have. And so all kinds of things from, arthritis to, as I mentioned earlier, autism, muscular degenerative diseases, autoimmune diseases, cancers, and the list goes on. And so we'll talk a little bit about where you can find a lot of really helpful research on Protandim and on the effects of oxidative stress and the benefits you can experience if you could reduce that. And so what Protandim does is, with 5 all-natural ingredients, as you see listed below: turmeric, bacopa, ashwagandha, green tea, and milk thistle, all ingredients that have been being studied used research for a very, very, very long time. The breakthrough or the miracle of Protandim was that Dr. Joe McCord found a way to take these ingredients, combine them in a particular way so that they became like 1,800 times more potent in helping your body activate its own antioxidant system, right? And so instead of just merely a supplementation, we are activating the body's own antioxidant system. And so if you have the question, like, why would that be such a big deal? What we found was that we are able, from the research, to show that Protandim lowers oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days and up to 70% in 90 days, right? And so that is phenomenal, that you could take something that is all natural with no known side effects and use it to activate or unlock your body's own potential. And so that your body would turn on its own antioxidant system and be able to dramatically reduce the free radical damage that is contributing to our potential of getting all kinds of age-related diseases. And so one of the awesome things that happened was that we were able to, that video was seen by places like Harvard, LSU, Ohio State, American Heart Association, Mayo Clinic, National Institute of Aging. And so currently Protandim has on PubMed.gov, like the largest medical research database that exists. If you're a doctor publishing research, you want your research on PubMed. And there is a very strenuous kind of guidelines to get your stuff published to PubMed. And we currently have 23 peer-reviewed published studies, all produced by third-party research institutions, as I mentioned, like the American Heart Association, like Harvard, LSU, and Ohio State, right? UC Denver. I'll mention something from Washington State here as we go through this piece. And so we have what I would say makes this product stand out really above the rest is not just its effectiveness, but the fact that we have confirmed third-party. It wasn't like Lifevantage went out and hired a doctor in-house to do the research, right? We have third-party validation here. And so one of the awesome things, the National Institute of Aging did a very long study on Protandim. They released their research, and currently Protandim is the first ever and only ever all-natural product that falls into that supplement category that's proven to extend life in mammals. And so when something like that is said, right, that hopefully gives you an idea, if you are a guest on this webinar, about why the person who wanted you to take a look at this was maybe so excited or so insistent on you taking a look. We believe that this is a product that is literally changing people's lives all over the world. And so we have 12 patents, so there's no like off-brand Protandim being sold at Walmart, NSF and BSCG approvals. So those certifications essentially just allow us to say, hey, what we said was in it is actually in it. It's very pure from that perspective. So Protandim is for a simple person like me who's not a science expert. I like to think of it as, this is the way to clean all the rust out of the car, right? We all know if you cut an apple in half and you leave it out on the counter and then it turns all gross and brown, it's because it's breaking down due to oxidation. That's what's happening inside the body. So for me, if I can clean up the rust, if I can clean up all the junk that's building up and contributing to my potential of getting diseases, that's a no-brainer for me. And we have something that is the most potent inducer of what's called the Nerf 2 pathway in the body that gets your own antioxidant system turned on. So quickly, I'm just going to get into, this is how much more effective Protandim Nerf 2 Synergizer is than, let's say, eating direct antioxidants or taking like eating a superfood or your blueberries, right? And so direct antioxidants are able to essentially disseminate or stop one free radical from damaging the body, right? But if you can get your body's own Nerf 2 pathway turned on, if you can get its own fighter enzymes working the way they're supposed to, you see here you have a 1 to 1 million ratio. So all this shows here is if you took all of the big crazy words away and the superoxide, dismutase, and all of those things, and really simplified it here, what we're showing is that your body's ability, when activated, to take care of itself is way, way phenomenal. I mean, like miraculously so, mind-blowingly so. And so we have, with Lifevantage, developed products that are doing just that. They're activating the body. So Washington State, specifically about that Nerf2 activation, that pathway or mechanism that Protandim is turning on in the body, they said that we may be on the verge of a new literature of health effects of Nerf2, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So, like, this is a huge deal for a place like Washington State that's really up at the top of the mountain when it comes to credibility, to say that this Nerf2 activation, of which Protandim is the most effective in activating, may be the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Again, this is the kind of stuff that has us so excited to talk to people about this. So let's back here. Awesome. So the Multiple Sclerosis Journal, there is something published there, and you may know someone who has MS or multiple sclerosis. You may have even known someone who has really suffered from having it. And so I know quite a few people. I feel like it's something that is increasing. When I was a kid, I don't feel like I heard about it a lot, or maybe I just wasn't as aware, but I know quite a few people now, some good friends even, that have MS. And so there's a company called Biogenetic. They developed a drug. It cost at least $1 billion to bring to market, which is not unusual for a drug company. And they said, hey, we want to show that that our drug, Tecfidera, that's said to reduce relapse rates by 50% in people who have MS. We want to show that it's the best thing out there, right? The hottest thing in the streets, if you will. And so they said, hey, let's get a third-party company and let's test this side by side with other drugs that are out there. The third-party company came across Protandim. And so when all was said and done, here's what they released in their published study in the MS journal. Interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy, right? So for me, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, so what you're telling me is that Protandim beat Big Pharma. And so a product that costs $40 a month to take outperformed something that has terrible side effects that costs a little over $60,000 a year to take the treatment for Tecfidera. Protandim outperformed that significantly so, and that we have proof in the Multiple Sclerosis Journal. Again, this is why we're excited to talk about this. So pretty phenomenal. The other thing about this company is that we never stop innovating. And so Lifevantage has a phenomenal team of scientists, a phenomenal group on our medical advisory board, great corporate staff. And so we never stop. We're always looking and saying, hey, how do we biohack another area in the body? And so there's another pathway in the body called Nerf One. And Nerf One is just another regulator at a cellular level. And it's specifically responsible for the repair of damaged mitochondria and the production of new mitochondria. And so again, for me, I'm not a crazy science guy, but I knew, okay, back to high school, you got mitochondria. That's the powerhouse of the cell, right? That's why I can do the robot and moonwalk, right? Because I have mitochondria. And so we have found in Protandim, Nerf One Synergizer, we have taken natural ingredients and have been able to activate the body in such a way that it promotes the repair and the production of mitochondria. So Nerf2 activation is like cleaning up all the rust in the body. Now we're able to take a supercharger engine and put that in, right? And so you have people who have had just phenomenal results in regards to just the increased energy that they experience and just the efficiency with which the body is working in managing the repair of damaged areas in the body. So this stuff is phenomenal. And it is the only product of its kind that currently exists in the world that is not just a supplement, but something that is activating the body's own Nerf One system. So this is phenomenal. LSU came out with some studies, and they are kind of the reason why we have what's called the True Science Beauty System. Our True Science Beauty System is the only known skincare line that activates that Nerf2 protein in the skin. Right? So while Protandim Nerf 2 is working inside the body, cleaning up the rust, we now have a skincare line that helps our first line of defense, right? Which is our skin that's being exposed to all of the elements out here. This stuff smells good, makes your skin smooth. I have ashiness problems every now and then. This is being recorded they're probably going to be like, what is he talking about? But I absolutely love this stuff. If you ever get a chance to meet my wife and you're like, man, she is absolutely gorgeous, she's using the True Science skincare regimen. She was already gorgeous before. Now it's out of control. Okay. So this stuff is literally absolutely phenomenal. And what they showed with the LSU studies was that it was helping the cells be more resilient in the skin and helping to decrease the spread of melanoma skin cancer in the studies that they were doing. And so I live in Arizona, and all of us are exposed to all kinds of elements where we live. We have to find a way that is a natural way to take care of our body, and what better than to activate our body's own defense system in the skin. And so this stuff is amazing. Here's a couple results. So in the bottom right corner, that's what it is on my screen. This is actually a friend of mine. His name's Matt, and he has a genetic skin condition, and it's called Haley's. I don't know the technical name for it, but as long as I've known him, he has had to take steroids or different drugs to try and stop breakouts in different parts of his body. And so we work in corporate America. So this is a guy who had to wear a tie every day, right? So you talk about life-changing impact on him. But he would get like similar to like road rash on his skin. And so in 17 days of taking Protandim and applying the Nerf 2 skin line, the True Science skincare line, you see the results that he's been able to experience, and it looks even better than that now. You'd almost not even know that something was there. And so we're not coming to the table saying that it's treating, preventing, curing, or mitigating any diseases, but when you activate the body, just watch what happens. And so for him, I mean, this has been really life-changing here, and there's story after story after story of people who've benefited from these. So Axio, which is, again, what I'm drinking here, liquid brain food. It's essentially that same Nerf 2 activation for the brain. Again, all natural product. There's a caffeinated and a decaffeinated version. So I am an entrepreneur. I cannot handle the cancer in the can drinks that you drink them, you're up for 2 hours, and then you have a super hard crash, right? I need sustained energy over a long period of time. And so most people these days aren't tired because they're of just so much physical activity. Most are tired mentally. And so this is specifically targeting that whole brain fog, right? Helping with the mood. For me, when I take this, it's not so much that I'm wired on energy. It's that it removes that brain fog and helps me be really dialed in and focused at the times when I need to be the most productive in my life. So I can't brag about this stuff enough. And we've seen some phenomenal things in regards to kids who have autism and people who have other cognitive delays, and just how this is unlocking the brain's ability, regulating things in the brain, helping it be balanced. And so people who have had ADD all the way to people who have had post-traumatic stress, right? PTSD, kids with autism, and then just your everyday person like me who's kind of crazy but needs some sustained help having energy. This stuff is absolutely amazing. So the physique weight management line, and so this is not like a shake system meant to replace eating real, natural, healthy food. But the company said, hey, we want a way to address or kind of biohack gut health. And so more and more and more research is being released, just showing how important it is to promote a healthy digestive tract and how that has effect on your brain, your cognition, all kinds of different things in the body. And so you got about 90% of your immune system right here in your gut. And so we have a protein shake that tastes better than anything I've ever tried. I've tried all kind of Costco protein shakes, all kind of stuff. This stuff is absolutely phenomenal. And it's got like 1 gram of sugar in it, right? It's sweetened with stevia extract. There's a fat burn that really targets that kind of visceral fat, right? All of us are going to kind of need a little bit of help after the holidays. A probiotic that has really been life-changing for me. I probably every night that I went to sleep was like, hey, my gut is killing me. My stomach hurts. Tell my wife like every single night. If I didn't have a stomach ache at night, it was like unusual. And so I knew though that my stomach did not have enough of the healthy bacterias in it. And then even taking most probiotics just didn't really do a whole lot. And so what I love about our ProBio is that there's a patented technology. It has Wellmune in it. It's micro encapsulated and it's time released. And so you actually have a very large portion of this probiotic lasting through the stomach acid, and it's not going to be released until it's actually in your digestive tract, and then it gets released over time. And so this stuff has been phenomenal in helping to improve just the way that I feel as a whole. So, and then we also have a light cleanse. And so this whole line here, again, is all just designed to help promote a healthy gut, healthy digestion, and it's to be partnered with a good, healthy diet. And so let's go on here. Our newest product is Omega Plus. And so I could go on and on and on and on and on about the benefits of taking fish oil and what it does for just the heart and the skin and the blood and the brain and the healthy fats in the body and all those things. But this is really a true reflection, in my opinion, of just the integrity that we have as a company. We know where the fish are being sourced from in regards to what piece of water, what boat it was that pulled what boat it was that pulled that fish out of the water, and the fish are being harvested and all the parts used within 6 to 8 hours of being pulled out of the water. There's a whole distillation process in place that's helping to remove all of the harmful things that could be in the fish, any kind of metals or things like that. So when you look into just how this is sourced, it's really a reflection of how we source everything across the board. And I love this stuff. This is our newest product. And so we have also Pet Tandem. So we wanted to say some people love their dogs more than they love their kids or spouse. And so, hey, let's put Pet Tandem let's put Protandim in a pet form. And let's partner it with some things that help with joint function and mobility, brain, heart, and eye function. Let's put a good flavor to it so that dogs will love it. And let's get into the world of helping people's fur babies, if you will. So Pet Tandem is great. There's tons and tons of testimonies of animals that have benefited in some really cool ways. So let's go. And then we have Stacks. And so the company said, hey, we want to provide a way for people to get free shipping and to be able to really benefit from just the synergistic effect that taking several of the products have. So every single day I use Axio, but I also take the Vitality Stack regimen. And so I use both of the Protandim, Nerf 1 and Nerf 2, the Omega Plus fish oil, and the probiotic. And so I've never felt better inside and out than I do today. And so ask the person who invited you to be on the webinar more about these, but they're just the best way to get the biggest bang for your buck if you're interested in benefiting from these awesome products. So, if you were thinking about like, hey, I think I would really, really, really benefit from those products, we would absolutely love for you to be able to use and benefit as a customer. But some of you may have been thinking, hey, I'm not only interested in how it could benefit me, but I know a lot of people that this could also benefit. And so this really second piece here that I'm going to get us through, and I won't keep you too much longer, but this is really the business opportunity that I have absolutely fallen in love with. The products were clearly a no-brainer for me. I used them, experienced the benefit from them in a very short period of time. And so for me, I had to work through a couple of things, but I have fallen in love with this business opportunity, as I stated. And so real quickly, Lifevantage did used to sell Protandim on store shelves. So you could walk into like a GNC or a Walgreens or places like that and be able to buy it. But as you know, if you have Nerf 2 Synergizer next to superfood or multivitamin or vitamin C, no one's going to buy Protandim. They don't know what it is. And maybe even the person working at the store doesn't know what it is, right? And so they were selling about half a bottle per store per month. And so they said, okay, this is not the preferred means. And we're trying to essentially like line the pockets of big box stores. Like this is really not true to our philosophy as a company. But like, what's the pivot, right? What do we do now instead of what's not working? And so they got with some consultants that said, hey, you guys need to consider the network marketing model. And like most good Americans, they're like, oh, we don't know if we want to do that, right? We've all heard a lot of the different negative connotations around that. And so with time and research, Lifevantage, which was already a publicly traded company, became the first to go from being publicly traded to also becoming a network marketing company. And so in 2009, Lifevantage was named a publicly traded network marketing or direct marketing business. And so they opened up the door for these products to to be made available through everyday independent distributors like me, like the guy that's presenting this information on the webinar. And so I am absolutely grateful for that. There's a couple of things that I'm just going to get through quickly, and why this really appealed to me personally. I think that the world is changing, and it has changed in a lot of very important ways. And whether we like it or not, we've got to understand that with the world changing, we've got to be open to change as well. And so I'd always heard kind of, hey, from 0 to 20, you grow up learning, and then you spend a huge amount of time really exchanging your time in order to get money. And then hopefully at the end of your life, you get to live free. And so I knew for me that didn't always settle well, but I was a huge skeptic of network marketing. What appealed to me, though, was this reality that I could, in 5 to 10 years or 3 to 5 years, accomplish with a vehicle like Lifevantage and the business opportunity that they offer. I could accomplish what it takes people 40 or 50 years to accomplish in, say, corporate America, right? Or in the 9 to 5 kind of grind. And so I was on the hamster wheel. I was building a great career in corporate America. I had 7 promotions in 4.5 years. I almost tripled my income. But I knew that I feel like there's got to be another way for me to get what everyone wants at the core of who they are, and that's time and financial freedom, right? Most people have a lot of money and no time, or no time and they either have a lot of time and no money, or a lot of money and no time, right? And so I wanted to be able to have time and be able to have money. And so I wanted to own my life from a financial aspect. And I wanted to be able to invest my time in the things that I loved and that I was passionate about. And so really what is being offered in Lifevantage is this idea of social entrepreneurship, right? And how do we utilize the most effective form of marketing that's ever existed, which is that word of mouth advertising. And how do we get out and be able to share these life-changing products with the people that are in our sphere of influence, see their lives change, and also give them an opportunity to be able to join us in this business opportunity. And so this is social entrepreneurship. I like to kind of compare what network marketing is, because I knew a lot of horror stories of network marketing, but I didn't exactly understand the concept. And so what's interesting is all of us are familiar with Uber or Lyft, right? And if someone drives and drops you off somewhere, they get paid once for that drive. But what if companies started to say, hey, if you refer someone to also be a driver, right? Or if you refer someone and they become an employee, we're not just going to pay you for your work, but we're going to pay you without taking any money out of their pocket. We're going to pay you a piece of what they produce as well, right? So that you're able to not only benefit from your own time, but now you're able to leverage the time of others, right? And that's the key ultimately to freedom, right? It's that kind of old phrase of I'd rather benefit from 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And that's what's being offered in the network marketing model. And so I'm going to get into a couple of things here. And there are some things in regards to this business opportunity that really make Lifevantage stand out above the rest. There's all kinds of stuff. I had people try to sell me the stretchy pants and the makeup on Facebook and all of those kinds of things. And so I had lots and lots of questions about this opportunity. What I love, though, is that the more questions I asked, the more impressed I became. And so linear versus leveraged income is a big part of this. If you do not find a way to make money in your sleep, to make passive residual income, Warren Buffett, like he said, his kind of famous quote is, you'll be working until you die. And so I knew exchanging my time for money wasn't going to work forever, and that the bank was never going to come and knock on my cubicle and say, hey, Dre, you produced enough income for us, enough revenue for us. We're going to keep paying you your paycheck and you don't have to show up anymore, right? That would have been a miracle, right? Never was going to happen, though. And so the harder I worked, I also got to do other people's job, right? And so leveraged income is what we have to find a way to get. And that's why a lot of people will get into real estate or other things that are a lot more risky. And so I just want to talk about a few things here that I love about this business. Not only does it offer leveraged income, but there's kind of 3 factors that you really, really got to care about if you're going to be someone who's going to seriously consider a network marketing opportunity like Lifevantage. And so the biggest is timing, right? And so everyone knows that in order to capitalize on a great opportunity, you've got to be at the ground floor. And so you want to be someone who gets in early. Most people, unfortunately, have had the experiences that they've had in network marketing because they're getting involved in companies that are way, way, way too late, right? If the company has hundreds of thousands of distributors and started back in the 50s, you're probably too late, right, to get involved in that. And so I wanted to know, if I was going to consider this opportunity, how do I know I'm at the ground floor? And so if you look at Harvard Business Studies, if you look at the Direct Selling Association that releases tons of research on network marketing or direct sales businesses, they help to regulate that industry. They said if you can be one of the first 135 distributors, 135,000 distributors per country to join a network marketing company like a Lifevantage, that is where you have the opportunity of a lifetime. And so currently we've only got somewhere between 80 and 90,000 distributors globally, and we're in 10 countries. And so, I mean, we are still like, Apple, like Steve Jobs in the garage still, right? This is the opportunity of a lifetime, in my opinion, and largely because we're at the forefront of a new science that is growing in massive popularity, and we're still at the ground floor as a network marketing business. And so that was great. I wanted to know too, I'm a millennial, and so I didn't want to be the guy who tried out a network marketing business and then had like super concentrated dish detergent in my garage for the next 10 years because it takes forever to use, right? I've heard the horror stories. And so I didn't want to have to be in a position where I had to hold product. And so this company does not require you to purchase bulk loads of product every month. There's no product holding. I don't have to ship it. I don't mail anything. When someone goes to my site and says, hey, I've been educated about this product and I want to experience and be able to partake in the benefits of this and be able to take control of my own health and get the results I'm looking for, they can go right to the website, purchase product, and the company will ship it directly to their door. And I am literally just a messenger. I am just a person going and saying, I want the world to know about these products, and the company handles the rest. There's a whole website that hosts all of the products. I was literally given like a business in a box, essentially, and just told, be the biggest evangelist for this that you can be. And so timing, the product, and then as we talked about the leveraged income piece, this is very important. And what I love is the transparency that this company offers as a publicly traded company. If you look at the monthly minimum, just that middle column there, at the monthly average, the third column from the left, the monthly average here, I looked at it and personally I saw, hey, a person who's a Pro 3, so you start as distributor down to executive master Pro 10, and really you just grow or advance and rank in this business as the amount of product being purchased by real customers increases in your organization. But I wanted to know, what are people who are at like the Pro 3 rank, right? So making on an average basis. And so they're making almost $600 a month, right? So that got my attention because as I looked down this list, I started to see freedom. And that was the most impactful part for me. It was that I saw, okay, there are people who are able to take a real product and get it into the hands of real customers. They're able to build a team of like-minded people and be able to leverage time and be able to help people be successful, right? Because you have to help the people that you introduce to this business in order to be successful. And that's what I love about this, that it's a rising tide raises every ship kind of mentality. But what I saw was that this has all the workings to give a person like me who came from nothing and who didn't have a good enough jump shot or didn't go to acting school or couldn't sing super good, right? To make the kind of leveraged residual passive income that people who we see on TV make, right? That sports players and musicians make. And so the lady there, Carrie Williams, who was at my first presentation, she's a Pro 9 in the business. She makes in a month what she was making in a year in retail. And so this is a game changer from a financial perspective. And as a company as a whole, we are giving people the opportunity to be healthy and to be genuinely wealthy, to be people who not only take control of their health, but also take control of their finances and are able to attain real freedom with a whole team of people. And so Carrie Williams has helped retire 40 different families. I mean, that's life-changing kind of stuff there. So the timing is absolutely phenomenal for this business. The product was an absolute no-brainer, and there's more testimonies in science than you could even consume, really validating that this is what Lifevantage says it is, and what the person said it was who introduced you to this. And so also, the compensation plan is like no other. I get nerdy into the finances, and you got about 48% of the gross global revenue being paid out to the distributors as a whole, about 48% of the entire gross global revenue. And so that is phenomenal. I would challenge you to find a company that is trying to put more of their money into the hands of distributors. The other thing is we have a system. We have mentorship. I didn't know the first thing about starting a network marketing business. I didn't know the first thing about how to do this. I was a corporate guy. I didn't even want to say anything to my friends and tell them that I had joined a network marketing company, but I knew I couldn't pass up this opportunity. I think I was probably the most angry at my first presentation because I was like, how am I going to say no to this? And so what I loved, though, was that there was a system, right? I appreciated that I was able to step in and not say, okay, I've got to develop this 30-page business plan, but there was already a system and mentorship in place. There was literally a step-by-step process called the blueprint. And I have followed the process. I'm currently a Pro 4 in the business. The average Pro 4, if you look there, is making just about $1,200 a month. I am not by any means able to just retire right now, right? But that kind of income starts to give you choices, right? I was able to actually leave corporate America and be able to devote myself to being a full-time entrepreneur. I've got a few things, but this is a huge part of my plan to get freedom, to be able, I have a son on the way. I didn't want to see him on the weekends and only in the evenings. You know, I wanted the freedom to be able to be a part of raising my son and see him whenever I wanted to. And so it's been great for me to be able to plug into something that really took me having to figure all of it out of the picture and said, here's the step-by-step process. If you follow this, you can experience success quickly in this business. So how do you get involved, right? There's 3 ways. There's a platinum, a gold, and a silver pack. I would definitely encourage you, talk to the person who invited you onto the webinar so that they can give you more details about what come in the packs. The packs are not, they don't determine how you get paid in the business. Everyone gets paid the same for real products, getting into the hands of real customers. Really, the packs are designed in kind of this way. I look at them sort of like this, that the silver pack is really here for a person who says, man, I'm not trying to build a big business, but I would like to be able to get bulk, just buy a big group of product at a discount. And I'd like to be able to casually share this with people that I know and love and be able to make some income from it. And so that's why we have that there. I came in at a platinum pack because I knew that after seeing this information that this was a huge opportunity. I got my concerns resolved. I got my questions answered. And the more I asked, as I said, the more impressed I became. And so I got involved at a platinum pack. I didn't have $1,250 just laying around. I grabbed the credit card. My wife was not excited about it, but I said that this is too big of an opportunity to pass up. I wanted to try all of the product. I was able to make back my investment in about 60 days. I don't know of any real business opportunities where you can get involved at such a low starting point and be able to make the kind of residual income that gives you freedom for a lifetime. And so this is a one-time investment here. I knew that the fact that I didn't have the $1,250 laying around was why I needed to come in at the platinum pack, because what I was doing was clearly not getting me where I wanted to be. And I think that kind of challenge that a mentor of our company, John Maxwell, has stated is if what you're doing now could get you what you want, you'd already have it. Right. And a lot of us have been working in certain careers for a long time, just getting by, not really even getting out of the hole, and definitely not in a place where we can just drop everything and be free. And so talk with the person who introduced this to you, get in wherever you can get in, just get involved. Don't let this opportunity pass you by is my strong encouragement. And so the last thing I'll say is this. Network marketing in this opportunity in particular takes that whole kind of mindset of pyramid scheme, if you will, right? And really flips it upside down and says, hey, everyone, no matter what your background is, you get to start at the same place, and there's infinite room at the top for everyone. And so wherever you saw yourself maybe on that income disclosure form, maybe you're a person who says, hey, I'd like to make $500 or $600 a month, or a person who says, I'd like to make $40,000 a month of residual income. Talk to the person who introduced this to you. We want to help people get whatever it is that you want, and we want to help and be a part of your journey in introducing people to these life-changing products. It has never, ever, ever been a better time to start a small business, especially in our American context. If you look at what is going on, I have no desire to get political at all whatsoever. But if you take a look at what's happening, even in the tax reform, I would highly encourage you, find a way to be able to make some passive residual income, find a way to be able to leverage the tax code to your advantage, find a way to be able to not be just a bystander, but someone who's really in the driver's seat of your life financially. And the hope is that you would take a real serious look at this business opportunity, and maybe it's the answer for you. And if not for you, maybe it's the answer for someone that you know. And so entrepreneurship is simply living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. And that is ultimately the name of the game here. Is you have everyday people that are investing part-time kind of time, but real meaningful time, and are building a business that is going to be able to benefit them for years and years to come. And so thank you guys for getting on this. Again, if you saw the product information and you thought, man, this could benefit me, be a customer, benefit from the product. We want everyone that we know and love to be using one of the stacks that the company offers. Get your free shipping and experience the benefits that the products can bring. But if you thought about other people, and if you're someone who says, man, this idea of time and freedom really resonates with me, ask more questions, get more information, really dig into what this business opportunity is. And hopefully you will join our Lifevantage family and be a part of building your dream with us, right? I think someone's either going to hire you to build theirs, or you're going to go out and build yours. And so go build your own dream, be encouraged, take the leap, don't live with regrets. Love all y'all. Thank you guys for getting on. And that is the conclusion of our Friday night Zoom opportunity presentation. Thank you again for getting on. Hope that this blessed your life, and see some of you guys very soon. Take care.